Yep. You see both?
So let me know if it's feedback. See, yeah, then I don't think this phone, because you can't mute the mic on both.
You turn the mic down on the phone?
No, you can't. You can't turn the mic. If I turn the mic down on the phone, it's going. Hold on.
Yeah, but if I turn the mic down on the phone, the people on Facebook won't hear me. I do the mic on Facebook, but they won't hear me.
Not the mic, but your volume.
Why is it gonna be done?
Okay, and I don't hear an echo at all. Who we got? Malcolm, you out there listening right now? Can you hear an echo when Deonte talks? Say something, D.
They probably can't. I don't believe they can hear me on Facebook. I'm muting my mic.
I wouldn't mute the mic. I would just keep the mic up, but turn the volume on your phone down. So, you know what I mean? So the speaker it doesn't come out of there.
All right.
There we go. Mute his Facebook feed. Mute. Okay, let me mute this.
Yeah, I hear you. That's because literally it's legit. Like, we gotta pick one or the other. You're gonna have to either record this and share it on the stream, or we ain't gonna be able to do both. It's gonna sound raggedy because we got two microphones working, two systems. Do you? Hold on. I got an idea. Hold on. Stay live on YouTube. Is you live on YouTube?
Okay, Michael said can't hear me. Can you hear me now? I unmuted my microphone. All right, Michael said D, you sound fine.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yep. Yep. So let me do this. Turn this up a little bit. Okay, we good, everyone? I'm still muted. So I'm still muted. Oh, I see it perfect. You guys can hear me? The yeses is because you can hear me. Okay, say something to me, D.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. All right, let me do the countdown on this thing here. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Etcetera with the Woodards. This is a special episode. This is episode 22. I'm your host for the evening, Craig Woodard Sr., and I have a special guest making an encore appearance, my cousin Deonte Cooley. Deonte, thank you for joining me once again.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you continuously using your platform. You know what I mean? To continue to spread the message. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep it going.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm in Tampa, Florida. For those that don't know, we are talking about justice for Cello, as you have followed already. You know, we are on day 29 right now, with barely any words from our DA's office, except for the statement that we have to get. Okay, they got a big echo. Let me mute this. Boom. All right. So, D, the energy.
Bro, listen, you can't hear it. It's not playing on both platforms. We can't run it on both. We got to pick one or the other platform to do this on. Because now I can't hear you.
Okay. You can hear me now, right?
I can hear you on the restream, but it's saying it's echoing when we're trying to do it on both.
Let me turn it down a little bit. How's that? You still hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. All right, and I don't hear the echo since I turned it down a bit. But D, tell me about the energy. The energy in Erie, Pennsylvania. What are you feeling up there? You guys have been boots on the ground, hitting the streets and everything. Pivotal video comes out yesterday in the media. Tell me about what happened.
So listen, bro. It's a and I'm talking. It's echoing. I can hear it in the earphone. So if you whatever you were streaming on, it's playing back loud. So
Okay.
you might have to turn down your sound, whatever that is, because I can hear myself twice.
Okay. What about now?
All right, I think it's still going. All right, so I mean, as far as I guess we'll just go until people say that they can't hear or whatever the case may be. But yeah, no.
Okay.
So at the visual, it was like I said, it was emotions all over the place. The Benedictine sisters. Can't hear the echo anymore. Okay, cool. Yeah, the Benedictine sisters, they came through, and it was a blessing. Oh, I gotta turn these up. So yeah, when they came, it was like I said, emotions was all over the place. You have Mike out there. He led the protest down at the parole office. It was a great turnout there. People were out there screaming Cello's name. I didn't make it to that event. I was riding around, prior to and afterwards. But for the most part, people are still upset. People are still frustrated. Then the video was released. So, after seeing the videos, you could see like the comments on like in all the news stations where they shared it. Like you seen the comments and some people were getting a more clear view of it. Some people were having like different opinions. You can see because we all paid attention to the people who made comments in the comment section. So some of
Right.
the opinions started changing, and then more people were justifying or whatever the case may be. But I feel like it brought more light to the situation, it brought more reason or more understanding to the reasoning of the protest, more understanding to the cries for justice, more understanding to why people were doing what we were doing and saying an innocent man was killed.
Right. Right. And just to kind of, we're gonna talk deeply about this tonight. For those that are kind of just coming in and watching, I want to get you up to speed. So on July 2nd in Erie, Pennsylvania, our cousin Marchello Woodard was gunned down in his vehicle by two parole agents. There was one shooter, we believe, but he was gunned down allegedly by his parole agent. They were making a routine check. It looked like a traffic stop on the video, if you don't know what was going on. And he never got out of the vehicle, and he was shot 3 times. It was a tragedy, and this is the first time that a parolee has been shot and killed by a parole agent in the state of Pennsylvania, and I believe the second time in the country. So this is big, big news. It is a huge disappointment to the Woodard family in Erie, Pennsylvania, and the community that they are unsafe right now because there's still a killer walking around in Erie right now. There have been no charges filed. We're on day 29, and the DA has come out with 2 statements. And the statements that they are stating is that the parole agent was actually being dragged by the vehicle that Cello was driving. The video is out. You can look at it on my page, Craig Woodard Sr. I've posted it. You scroll down, you'll be able to see the video. You can see a couple of the news clips. And you can be the judge for yourself. Take a look at the video. What are you going to believe? Are you going to believe words on a statement, or are you going to believe your own eyes? Look at the video. So, Deonte, we don't want to talk about what we see on the video. We want to talk about what we don't see on the video, because what we don't see on the video is the parole agent being dragged. That is the hot spot right there, is that the parole agent was not being dragged on video, but you hear the gunshots. So you hear the gunshots and he wasn't being dragged, but yet their statement says he was being dragged. So they're trying to justify the shooting, trying to make the vehicle be a weapon. But that's not what we see. It's been on Facebook for quite some time, and Christy Sweet was just, we're very, very pleased that she allowed us to air that video, and she was interviewed by the media as well. But, Deonte, I don't know how many times you've seen this video, but I know that you have analyzed this thing back and forth. So if we're focusing on what we don't see, and that is a pivotal piece of information that we don't see on the video, where does that leave them?
I mean, again, because they have not released any information to us, we can't really speak as far as like where that leaves them. But at the end of the day, when you look at it, nobody was being drugged. I didn't see anybody being drugged. Then from what I did see, it was a stop, and then somebody got in the car. I don't know, as far as like being dragged by a car and then being able to get up and run down the street and then to make it to the next scene and then being able to leave to go to the, it seems like a bit much to me. So I didn't see anybody being drugged in a vehicle, by a vehicle. I know that's been their driving force. I know that's been like the story that they're going to try to lead with, because it has to make it look like something, because nobody wants to lose this situation. But we're in a situation to the point now to where it's like, right is right, wrong is wrong.
Yep.
Give us justice. You have the video release. You have the lady who gave the release, who says she's willing to give a statement. She's willing to speak up. There are other people in the neighborhood who are saying that they're willing to be witnesses. There are people who are reaching out saying, hey, I'm willing to talk about how I was treated when I was incarcerated by this individual. I'm willing to talk about some of the things that this man has said to me as my parole agent. So when you have so many people speaking up to the situation, I mean, and then you hear about a possible investigation, it's more or less got me to the point of, again, what's being investigated, who's being investigated. We can see it with the information that was released by the news.
Right.
Like, how are you being drugged by a car and then get the shots off that you get off and be able to hit somebody in those points? Like, especially if this is the justification of your behavior.
Right. And he was shot in the chest. So, and we've heard other witnesses say he grabbed onto the handle and he was running next to the car. That's not being dragged. That's not a justified shoot.
This is an interesting thing. So they had like a safety training course this weekend at the library. So I went down there and it was like talking about different measurements of how you like if somebody's 100 feet away, you have opportunity to make a decision to engage or not. If they 50 feet, then it's more or less like, how do you elude, how do you evade? And if somebody is, 21 feet from you, if somebody had a knife 21 feet away from you, they can get to you and attack you quicker than you can get your gun out, get it out ready to go.
Right.
And they said the average person takes for them to draw from their hip and shoot 5 to 6 seconds. So 5 to 6 seconds, and then we do the time. Cindy's got the time frame in there. How are you being drugged by a car?
Right.
And then shoot somebody in the chest?
Yes.
Within 5 to 6 seconds, if somebody's this distance away from you, you're better off trying to fight with your hands. Like, it just, and I know that may sound all over the place, but I literally just was at the training and they was saying, and I'm listening like, and I didn't want to make that training about this situation.
Right.
But when you get this type of information from professionals and people who are trained to teach people how to use firearms, and they're also trained to teach people when to use deadly force and when not to use deadly force, it kind of start like, okay, now we need to see this guy's information. Now the things aren't clicking. What training did he take? And then even after, there's procedures and steps that you're supposed to take after you harm someone.
Yes.
You know what I mean? To make people alert that this is what took place.
Right.
So if there's no accountability, like, what are we hiding for? Like, there's something happening, there's something wrong. And then especially after this video was released, I feel like at this point we need to hear something, because now we're all seeing it. It's not just a social media thing. It's not just
Correct.
a Facebook, TikTok thing. Like, this was released to the news. You can watch the news from anywhere, and from what we saw.
Yep.
And if that's not what we saw, then they at least need to let us know and make it make sense at this point.
Correct.
Because the video was released, so it's like we all seen that.
Absolutely. We've all seen it. And the reason why, like, there's a social media group that we watch things on social media. But what about the thousands that aren't on social media? They now have been exposed to the video and the truth through the regular media on the news, right? And so, there's a couple people made some key points I wanted to touch on here as well. Do you know all about shooting? And you shoot with your dominant hand. If I'm going to go and reach and grab a door handle, I'm usually grabbing with my dominant hand as well. So what hand was the gun in? What hand was he shooting with? What hand was he trying to grab the door with? There's so many questions. And like you said, with the video surfacing yesterday through the media, what I would expect, doesn't mean it's going to happen, but what I would expect is that the DA's office, the prosecution, needs to inform the public of what's going on. And two statements is not going to get it done. There's some explanations that need to be had that will not jeopardize an investigation. If somebody's guilty, they're guilty. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Call it what it is and call it now. What more are they doing? So I don't want to sound like I'm defending the DA's office, but I want to lay this out for some people who don't understand the process. The district attorney's office is the prosecution. The prosecution are responsible for bringing charges to the suspect. So in essence, the DA's office is the attorney for the people. The people have a right to know, and they have a right to inform us what is going on. However, maybe they're taking this long because they got one shot at this thing, and they got to get it right. But on the other hand, when you have a parole agent and you have the DA's office, they're on the same team. They work for the same boss. This is where the questions for the family and the community come in as to why they are taking so long. 29 days. And the video has been out on Facebook for the longest time. Now it's out in the media. I would hope that they would come out and say some information to us to answer some questions that have nothing to do with jeopardizing the investigation. I mean, I don't know what their next move is, but it's just not a good look on their part for us. We haven't had even one press conference where they've sat down and at least told us on camera what they wrote on the statement, right, D?
Right. They have not been releasing any information. Nobody has let us know anything as far as what's going on, who's being investigated, clearing up what we saw or the misconceptions. And again, like you said, there's people who are just, what's going on? Like I'm literally looking at the comment section right now, and people are making some valid points.
Yep.
And then even say, like somebody said, the district attorney's office is smiling, taking pictures with the so-called defendant. How ironic. And the message that I've been receiving today from people after that picture was released, as far as like what appears to be a past relationship, somebody reached out to me and was like, do you think it would be a good idea for her to recuse herself from the situation, like after that's going on? Because
conflict
that
of
may
interest.
change some minds, some thoughts, or some ideas as well.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody's telling us anything. We're watching the video. People are outraged. And again, it's not about a race thing. And like, it's right is right and wrong is wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
Yep.
even, I say that to not to downplay anything, but to separate all of the negativity and all of the disparity in the community to where people are trying to justify this man's behavior, and they're turning into a situation to where you have one demographic of people acting like they have a problem with another demographic of people. That's not what we want. We're not trying to split our community by any means. We're not trying to separate a family. We're not trying to tear a family apart. We're not trying to go attack the justice system. It's more or less like, again, when you see it, the video, that should have raised some questions. I should raise some questions as well. And it's like, if we the people are looking at this stuff and we are coming up with our own thoughts and our own, definition. Listen, he said it would be a conflict of interest. She has a past relationship. I'm in the comments too. But if we have our own thoughts and our own opinions, and somebody who went to school for this
Right.
and passed the bar for this and has a team, there's a team. The DA does not work alone. And I shared the names of everybody in the team. The DA does not work alone. She has a team. They're a team of professionals, highly trained professionals who investigate cases regularly. They still can't put their minds together or put their heads together to come up with something to tell us anything. Like, it's a team of individuals. We are watching a video. We are seeing the video. We are formulating our own opinions to where even, like, for people who are saying it's wrong, some of them are looking at it now like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like, when they say drag, you don't hear the other parole agent like, stop, because if my partner's being dragged, I might shoot too. If that's the case, like, at this point, his life is at danger. So why didn't the other partner, have something to say? Why aren't they releasing his statement? Why isn't he even speaking up for his brother to say, hey, I was there. This is what I saw. So again, it's not even necessarily about like trying to make it anybody against anybody. It's more or less like justice. Let's do the right thing. And like when you had evidence there and you have to investigate and there's more questions that you can't ask at this point, after that video is released, if they haven't, they need to be knocking on every door in the neighborhood. If the district attorney hasn't called every single person who said they're willing to share that video, they need to be making phone calls. They need to go in that neighborhood and they need to be talking to people. They need to be asking questions because now people are willing to speak up. And these aren't just black people trying to speak up. These aren't like, oh, this is his family and his friends. These are people who live in the neighborhood who are concerned. Like, listen, I'm afraid, but come on, 29 days. This is ridiculous. We can't get a word. It's to the point to where, like, people are starting to get into their feelings. Like, we thinking with intellect, we moving with intellect, we asking for help. It's to the point to where we asking for permission for them to give us some type of justice. And like, why do we have to go through all of this? And why do we have to deal with this when we have the evidence? Like, and I'm, excuse me for just going off the way I'm going off, but it's crazy now to this point because, like,
preach.
Right, yeah. Do you truly believe that they'll do the right thing morally? Like, unfortunately, no. At this point, I don't. I don't think that the right thing is going to be done, but they don't even have the decency to look us in our face and tell us, like, we don't respect you. You know what I mean? Or even that we hear you. It's more or less like, man, like, whatever. Like, again, in the comments, like, he hopped in the car.
Yes.
Went down the street. The partner went and got the other guy down the street after the car pulled off. Like, how are you being drugged by a car and then you get up and chase the car? And then your partner gets in the van and drives down and he picks you up and you get in the car and then y'all follow the car again? And how did the police get there that fast to stop them? You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Like, at this point, it's not, it may not be the right thing that's going to come out of it, but now they playing with us. There's literally a picture of this lady sitting next to the alleged killer, talking to young people about civics or justice and crime and all of that good stuff. And then here it is. We can't even get a peep out of it. And then it's always different kind of events and you got people showing up, but nobody's showing up for us. And then, like, also to pay attention, like, it's about to be election time is coming. So now it's about to be people who are going to start acting like they care. It's going to be people who are going to start want to come and, oh, how can I help you? What can I do? And let me get a part of the conversation, or let me see what I can do for you or how I can help you. And we need to be aware of that as well, because, like, at this point, like, something has to shake, bro. Like, something has to shake.
And you know what? They think that we're going to go away. They think that we're going to be quiet. They think that we're going to forget. But the Justice for Cello Coalition, we ain't going anywhere. This is going to be a marathon, and we are fighting for justice for Cello for the long run. That's what we are doing, and we got some big things coming. We've only just begun. We need some answers, and all them questions that you just asked, D, we need answers to those. And then there's protocols that they have to follow. So after a lethal shooting, as a part of their protocol, they have to relinquish their firearms. Did that happen? We don't know. We hope it happened, but we don't know. Why? Because they ain't tell us anything. We don't know. What happens when two people go in and rob a bank and they get busted and the cops come? They take one of the robbers and put him in that car. They take the other robber and put him in that car so that they cannot share and can come up with some type of collective story that they're on the same page. Did that happen? We don't know, because we did see a video on one of the posts on social media where they're standing together. Why are they together? I mean, so we don't know what happened. What else is supposed to happen after lethal force is administered? You're supposed to administer CPR. They clicked the fob, got back in the car, he picks his boy up. I mean, there's something really wrong with what's going on in Erie, Pennsylvania. And that is why it's been 29 days and we haven't heard anything. Look on my page, Craig Woodard Sr. Look on Deonte Cooley's page. Look on the Justice for Cello Coalition page and look at the video for yourself. The video is there. It's for everybody to see. And it is for you to look at what you do not see. And what you do not see is a parole agent being dragged. You do not see that. As a matter of fact, about 7 or 8 seconds after the second parole agent got out of his vehicle is when 3 shots rang. You can't do all of this stuff in the short period of time that we're talking about. Be dragged.
This, right? And then
go ahead.
Here's the thing too, right? So this is something that I would say. It took for the second parole agent to come up and shoot. If he was that much of a threat, why wasn't the first parole agent's gun drawn? You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
If he had any intentions on fleeing this scene, if he had any intentions on fleeing this trouble, and there was 2 agents, when the first agent was outside of his car, why didn't he take off then? Like,
Yeah.
Why would he be waiting around and say, oh, wow, now there's 2 of them, let me leave? So then that would make me even think, what did the other one have? What did the other one come with? Because he wasn't afraid of the first one. You feel me where I'm coming from? Like, when the first parole agent is standing there, you see the video, yep. There's one standing there.
Yes.
So if he was fleeing from parole and he was afraid of parole,
yep.
He had every amount of time to pull off before the other agent got out the car and locked the door.
Absolutely. Yep.
He did not do that. So then you have another agent who's coming around the car, and I'm telling you, based on what I thought I saw, I am not a lawyer.
Yep.
The guy who got out of the passenger seat had something in his hand.
Absolutely.
You go around the car and see something in his hand. Okay, he's seeing me shoot. Boom. The car's going. Because then, even with the sound on, if he was fleeing, we heard no skirt. There was no bang, no car accident. The car rolled through Parade Street slowly. And then when the police caught him at the next spot, it wasn't like boom, crash or nothing like now. No, I'm very animated, but like it was a. So again, if there's one parole agent on, he was the type of guy who's going to run from parole.
Yep.
Why would he wait for the second guy to get out?
Makes no sense.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, why would he wait for parole agent 2 to come unless he was afraid?
Right.
And then if parole agent 2 is coming, why are you grabbing a hold of a vehicle? And while he's grabbing a hold of a vehicle, why didn't his partner shoot? Because he felt his partner's life was at danger.
Absolutely.
And these are just questions that I have just as a concerned citizen, as a family member. Like, when you think about all of this, only supposedly one person shot there first, and it was a second person to come.
Yeah.
And the second person that came, whose life was in danger, his partners, who, what they say, I got your 6.
Yes.
So if it was his job to have his 6 while he's being drugged by a car, why didn't Officer A, who was the first officer, come, let the shots off? That's because that man, in my opinion, came over there to shoot and kill Marchello.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because outside of that, none of it makes sense to me.
No. And you know the other thing that still is evident on this video is Cello's car did not move until the gunshots happened. So that pokes holes in what they're saying. How is he being dragged with a vehicle that's not moving? So maybe he reached down and tried to open the door handle, but he wasn't being dragged at that time because the car wasn't moving. The car moved after the gunshots started and then stopped. And then you see the car floating off a little bit, and then they hit their fob on their van to open their door, and they get into the vehicle at that point. Like, for me, after those 3 shots, everything else that happened after that is irrelevant. You know, you see the vehicle moving after those 3 shots. That's irrelevant. He can't do anything at that point because he's already shot. So it's irrelevant to me. Look at the video. There's no movement with no vehicle. If there's no movement with no vehicle, there's no dragging happening. You can't drag somebody after you're shot. You're not responsible at that time when you're taking your last breath. So this video, it shows exactly where we're coming from and why something needs to happen. Something needs to happen. This video being out is huge. It's big, and I want to see a response from this and which way they're going to go, because their original statement cannot be changed based off of what they said. So now they have to stick with the parole agent was being drugged. But now we got a video that shows otherwise. Okay, make the arrest then, because somebody got out the car with shoot to kill on their mind. That is the only reason why they draw their gun. Isn't that what they say, D? You draw your gun, you're going to use it, right?
Right.
And he was seen with his gun out before an interaction with Cello.
Right.
Something's really wrong here.
Especially to be an officer of the law, like, you know, when you draw your gun, you know what I mean? Like, where to have your finger at. So, and again, like, I don't know what parole agent is trained to shoot like that. Like, I'm not saying people aren't trained to shoot like that, but what I do know is, again, like I said, working for the Department of Corrections, and then even when you think of level of policing, like, it's levels to everything. You understand what I'm saying? So you think probation, parole, sheriff, police, trooper, fed, so on and so forth. So, like, I'm not exactly sure who's investing into any parole agent, the type of training for them to shoot a moving target, for them to be able to shoot from the hip while they're being drugged, as if they're, you know what I mean, being trained as Marines or soldiers. Again, you're a parole agent. They do training at a gun range. You know, you shoot down the range or whatever the case may be. But as far as, like, a parole agent being, like, you don't need to invest in a parole agent for them to be able to hit a moving target while being drugged by a car while doing compliancy searches in the neighborhood. Right. A parole agent's job is to keep their parolees on the up and ups, on the straight and narrow. And when they're doing wrong, you have the opportunity to violate them. If that means sending them to rehab, if that means giving them an ankle monitor, that means sending them to county jail, if that means sending them to state jail. Nowhere in the lines of helping another man become a better man does it say, if he does not follow your orders, you can kill him. Think about this again. Like, I want to put the emphasis on and lay out the importance of the roles and responsibilities of a parole agent, because you think when somebody's coming home from jail and you're trying to refamiliarize yourself with the neighborhood, you got to have somebody that's going to lean on you, but then also keep you accountable. Right. And if I would have known my parole agent going to keep me accountable up until death, I never did no state bid, but I'm pretty sure I would much rather just max out my time as opposed to be able to come out here and be killed. You know what I mean? And then even if it's to the point to where if I feel like that, like, I got 2 weeks to go, I would have been like, hey, man, take me back before you. I'm not running from nothing or nobody. And then, like, he did his time like a man. So if he did his time like a man, Cello is not afraid to go to jail, especially not for no 2 weeks to the point to where he's going to run to the sense of losing his life. So even if he didn't have a weapon, you know what I mean? So, like, he didn't have a weapon. He's not afraid to go to jail. They killed an unarmed man. You see the video. The video has now been released. There was no dragging. There was no skirting. There was
Nothing.
no tire tracks on the ground to show that there was any pulling. There was
Yep.
no blood on the ground. The guy in the picture from that scene that they released, nobody's clothes were frayed, shredded,
Nope.
ripped. The T-shirt still looked white. The bulletproof vest didn't have any phrase on it. They all looked like, oh shit, what happened? What happened is that man came and killed Marchello,
Yep.
chasing down the street to make sure he was dead, because a dead
Right.
man tells no tales. You know what I mean? No case, no face. The only person who could really witness it was a person he shot, because they ain't even really talking to Shamel. They're not speaking to the neighborhood and the community. It happened in a neighborhood where houses are 3-4 feet apart from one another.
And
So how
speaking
do
of
you not go
Shamel,
talk to the neighbors? How do you not go investigate the neighborhood?
right. Speaking of Shamel, they interviewed her without reading her the Miranda rights. So her statement that they tried to use against her fiance is inadmissible. No Miranda rights were read. And she has come out in public and on the news and stated that what they said she did not say. So that further validates the fact that that's a smokescreen. Okay, that's a smokescreen. What we're going to do is we're going to put out our own narrative, and this is the original narrative. All right, now we're going to pit his fiance against him, and we're going to switch her words around. Right? I mean, they are protecting their own teammate. So
And let me stop you there when you say that too, because and we want to clear something up, because not only would they try to pit his fiance against him, what they try to do is split our community, and that's not what we want to happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, an innocent man, Marchello Woodard, was killed by his parole agent, and that's not the fault of anybody other than that man acting negligent. You know what I mean? So I speak on understanding, like, nobody who lives in the city of Erie should be catching any pressure, any heat, or any problems as far as like, oh, this was a setup, or people was involved and they did this wrong, because that was not the case at all. Like, people are outraged. There's people crying every day. People can't eat. People can't go to work. And the last thing that we need is for our community to be turning around and turning against one another. You know, I understand that people are, you know, afraid. I understand people are hurt. I understand people are upset. I'm hurt. I'm upset as well. But like, what it's turning into, or no, I'm not going to say what it's turning. What it should not turn into is
Right.
us coming for and coming at one another, because some of us are going to defend ourselves. You know what I mean? And we shouldn't have to be defending ourselves against our people when we have pain. And that goes for any human being living here. Like, this is not a black, again, I'm gonna continue to say, it's not a black-white thing. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Like, we want justice for Marchello because we live in the city of Erie. Right now it's not safe. There was a lie told. Like, a man was drugged. We seen the video. Nobody was drugged. So now they're even willing to release a statement that's a lie to us to keep us confused. You understand what I'm saying? And that's not what we want. Like, we got to get to the point to where, like, we breaking these generational curses, and we not finna continue to allow people to keep allowing us to play a part one another, because that has been happening. You know what I mean? That's not what we want. That's not what anybody wants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wanted to say that right now, why? Because I know people are going to be watching this and paying attention to this, and that is definitely a very important message right now that I want to emphasize and drive home. Like, we cannot separate. We cannot be arguing amongst one another. We cannot be going, and I'm guilty of it. You know what I mean? So I'm not finna sit here and act and play like holier than thou. Like, you know, like in the heat of the moment, in the mix of this, it's like everybody's on edge and everybody's on go. And what we don't want to do is for them to see that it's possible for them to split us and divide our community like they always have, because you know, it's easier to attack us when we divide, and it's easier to attack us when we separate. And at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. Like, so I know that. I know at the end of the day, anybody who said anything right or wrong or hurtful or mean or cruel, and it came out of a feeling, it came out of emotion, it's all for justice for Cello, man, and that's all we want. And we need to make sure that we get back on track, because now what we have is proof, solid proof. We have evidence, we have information, we have the picture to see what they've been telling us about, that everybody's just, oh, this, we doing that, or he was drugged, or this happened. Now we have the opportunity to look at it for ourselves and put it back on the DA and say, is this what you've been investigating? Yeah. Because this is what we see. You know what I mean? So now what? What are we going to do about it now? So the ball's back in their court, and we all need to be coming together and saying, hey, we're here for justice for Marchello. We're here for justice for the people of Erie. The district attorney is supposed to work for the people. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have to have some, like, Her job is to work for us. So we're allowed to question her.
That's right.
We're allowed to protest and ask her questions. We're allowed to call her phone. We're allowed to send her emails because we voted her in. She works for us, whether she likes it or not. So for anybody from the outside looking in, feel like, oh, they tripping. Yep. We are asking our lawyer questions. Yep. We are asking our attorney who's supposed to be seeking justice for our community questions. What are you doing for us? Why are you not talking to us? Because we hired you.
Yes.
You are working for the people. So we're not disrespecting anybody by knocking on doors and holding signs and screaming justice for Cello and posting her picture and saying the DA needs to do her job because she needs to do her fucking job.
That's right. That's right.
And you know what? Us, and everybody needs to understand that. We all need to understand that we have every right to ask her questions. Yep. We have every right to ask our elected officials questions because they were elected. And it's not disrespectful. It's not rude. It's not wrong. But at this point, we all need to come together and go get justice for Cello by any means necessary. And that means the people who are sitting in those positions who owe us answers. I'm tired of people saying they don't have to tell y'all nothing. And they don't know. They do. We voted her in. Her job was to speak for the people. I shared the stuff and everything. It don't matter. Like, if I shared all the stuff she said she was going to do. So even if she ran not against anybody, she gave statements saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. So handed the position or not, she can say, I don't want the job. She can recuse herself. At the end of the day, it is her job to work for the people. She is our attorney. We pay her money. We pay her salary.
Yeah.
Why won't she talk to us?
She's getting paid and getting paid by the hour and not doing her job. I mean, she's not responding to her clients. The people in the community are her clients. She works for the people, and we're not getting anything. We're not getting anything. If anything, have some type of press conference and be visible. Talk to the family. You know, I just don't understand why. No, I do understand. I'm not even going to say it like I don't understand. It's their teammate. It's their teammate. And that's what the deal is. Let's just call it what it is. I'm tired of trying to, cover this up. She's protecting her teammate. And yeah, I said it. And I'm in Tampa. You can't do nothing to me. I'm in Tampa. I didn't vote you in. Now what? She's protecting her teammate. And that's what it is. I pulled that case law last week, Deonte, on my last podcast, the state of Indiana versus Tim Thomas. And it was a similar incident where a police officer off duty shot and killed somebody that was actually attacking him. He had marks on him and everything. And the jury voted him guilty of aggravated assault, and he got 16 years for shooting this man. And the reason why is because the guy that attacked him in his own house and tried to choke him and had marks on him did not have a firearm. So they're saying, could he have did something to avoid shooting and killing this guy? And the jury said he should have been able to, and he didn't. And so he's guilty and got 16 years. And he was arrested on the scene. He was arrested on the scene. These guys, 29 days later, are at home eating macaroni and cheese from a box with their family.
Listen, and what's crazy about that, too, is when you're in a situation like that, they pay you to use your mind. So they say every second matters. So, again, if you're a trained professional, let's get back to this. If you're a trained professional that has the ability to shoot a gun while being drugged from a car, then you are trained enough to have the decision of, let the car go and just fall to the ground because I know who is pulling me. Because rational thinking would say to me, if I'm trained to kill, then I have the IQ and I have the thought process and the emotional intelligence to process this entire situation before I let this gun off. And if the easiest thing for me to do to protect a valuable life is to let a car go, then I'm going to let a car go. Because no matter what it is that you're involved in, at the training class I was at the other day, they told you, no matter if you're right or if you're wrong, be prepared that if you fire your gun and you lethally, and it's lethal, be prepared to either have to go to jail or pay some fines or some fees or pay some lawyers to defend yourself in this situation. So he had to be thinking all of this as well. When I'm holding on to this vehicle in a split decision, it's either let go or pull my gun and shoot it. The safest thing for everybody involved, again, mind you, I'm in a neighborhood doing a compliance check.
Right.
You can hear kids. You can clearly see people.
Right.
So there you can hear kids, you can see people. I'm of right mind, because if he was using drugs or under the influence on the job, that's a whole nother issue within itself.
And
but
it should have been checked for it too.
You know what I mean? I'm trained to shoot this guy. I'm trained in critical thinking. I'm trained in conflict resolution. My emotional intelligence is up. I got my IQ and everything together. The first and the smartest thing for me to do while being drugged, he was not drugged by a vehicle, because if that was the case, his partner would have shot. He came there to kill. He accomplished his mission, and I hope that he gets what he can be given for that. And I hope that I mean, it's to the point now to where we've made so much noise and so much evidence has been provided. Like, even if they want to let him go, they gotta kind of give him up. Like, you can't justify it. Like, you gotta give him up at this point, because then what it's gonna come down to is the family's gonna come for him, and then the state gonna have to pay that, because the state is protecting him. And the last thing that the state gonna want to do is have to cover up a mess of somebody who's negligent within a job, and then who's willing to lie and say you were drugged by a car when the evidence shows clear as day you were not drugged by a car. So even the people who are protecting him, even if they did not see this specific video until today, until yesterday, I'm sure when that video got released, there's people who was defending this dude that was like,
maybe we should be defending him. That's right.
Is not what you told us would happen.
That is not what
now,
you said.
how are we gonna clean up your mess? It's somebody who believed him. It's somebody who really thought, yeah, I'm sure he drugged you, because he's not that kind of guy. And then after yesterday, they seen that video, they was like,
yeah, man.
Who mans is this? You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know, whose mans is this? So after the video got released, it's to the point to where anybody who was talking ill, that's on the FOP, anybody who was talking ill in the comments on Erie News Now, Go Erie, Your Erie, anybody who was making subliminal posts, all of that, after that video got released, because people like, well, if he wasn't driving the car and he was doing what he's supposed to do, he would be alive. You know, people say, if he would have stopped like they told him, or what do you expect if I was being drugged by? Now the evidence come out, and it's like,
he wasn't being drugged. Now what?
You feel me? So at this point, like, stop playing with us, stop insulting our intelligence, speed this investigation up, watch the tape, go investigate the neighborhood, go grab this dude, lock him up, and finish the investigation while he in jail, like they is, you know, the lady. And I don't even want to compare the two, but it's somebody that just got locked up. And how did they know it was her?
Exactly.
But now it's like, oh, we're investigating. No, hell no. Go pick his ass up.
Yes.
Sit him in a cell. And let's investigate while he in jail.
Absolutely.
And let him sit in there, let him fight from jail like they would do anybody, not even any one of us, anybody else. Because even the dude that went to Partners, he did go to jail. He bailed out. It was crazy that he got a bail.
Yeah.
But send his ass to jail. Like, we can't get a night, bro.
Yeah.
You feel me? We can't get a, like, listen, man, if I get a disorderly conduct, if I leave out here and get into an argument on State Street, bro, I've got to go to jail for the night. This, man, we can't even get, you know what I mean? We can't get that. We ain't even good for a weekend in jail. No. If you get a DUI, you going to jail for a couple of days. You feel me? Like,
absolutely.
He killed somebody, and we can't even get a disorderly conduct. He ain't get a summary. Now, that man's, what holiday did we just miss? 4th of July? You know what? He was, I'm sure he had the greatest fireworks show. Fishing, because I'm sure he's somewhere hiding. So he fishing with family somewhere in Virginia or West Virginia's, living a good life, exercising, working out, while we out here in the streets crying and sobbing, and we arguing amongst one another, and we begging for help, we begging for justice. Like, man, it's getting to the point, bro, like, something got to shake.
I don't understand how Shamel gets taken to the police department, but the shooter doesn't.
Don't get me started on that, bro. When she told me that, I'm like, hold on, what?
Am I missing something? Shamel gets taken to the police department, but the shooter doesn't. Does that make any sense in the world? And then you see the video. Yo, what are they doing? What are they doing? I don't get it. I'm lost. I'm lost. They need to get it together in Erie, man. They need to get
Listen,
it
when I
together.
talked to Shamel, I had a conversation with her. And then when she told me how the night went, I'm like, hold on.
Yeah.
You was in handcuffs? She was like, yeah.
Mm-mm.
She was, I was in the whole cell. They took my picture. I'm like, what?
Mm-mm.
And she was like, yeah, they took me from this chair. They took me from Erie City to the barracks. And I'm like, how did you get back home? She like, I had to find a ride. I'm like, hold on.
Oh, my goodness.
And then by the time she get back to the crib, they finished searching her house.
Yeah.
So I'm like, these people came, took
Yep.
you, transported you from one place to the next place.
Yep.
While they searching your house, and then they just so happen to let you go home, and you got to find your own ride home. And then when you get home, your house just got raided.
Wow.
And then they want to try to give up a statement. Like, imagine being traumatized like that, and then somebody asking you questions. Like, first, your man just got shot, and as soon as your man gets shot, you don't even get a chance to go to the hospital. You don't get a chance to, call the family. What's going on? She was the first person there. She couldn't call mom, dad, none of that. She's just like, oh shit, I gotta go to jail. My man got killed, and I gotta go to jail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then when I come back home, my house got, so now I gotta sit in this. My man then got killed by his parole agent. Now I'm thinking family, funeral, all of that. And now I got to answer questions about the situation. Like, even for them to come at her at a time like this, if they did come at her at a time like this, they dead wrong. And the district attorney, again, who works for her, for us,
Yes.
should have got with her and said, listen, how can I help you? Because you might be the key person that's going to help my case.
Exactly.
The district attorney should have a relationship with Shamel Henderson right now. The
That's
district
right.
attorney should be trying to figure out who produced that video, because I want to have a relationship with them. She's
That's
supposed
right.
to be like, let me protect these people who are all involved in this situation, because they are going to help me win my case. The
They can
DA wants to
provide
win.
answers.
She wouldn't be going. She's not up against Marchello in this one. She's up against the state parole agent who fired the gun.
Right.
So if she wants to gather information to win her case, she need to be with us. She need to be out
Absolutely.
there. And if she, like, I heard that they were saying, oh, she can't get no information right now, or it's out of her hands. Then if that's the case, then tell her to come protest with us.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, if she ain't the person that we need to talk to, then tell her to write a letter and send a letter to the governor, like city council did. Or
Correct.
tell her to write a letter and tell her to send a letter to the Pennsylvania State Police. Because at
Absolutely.
this point, how was you giving us excuses? You work for us.
Yes.
So you ain't working for us, because we ain't heard. We the people want to talk to our district attorney, and we don't want to hear what you got to say from a Facebook post or a press release. We want to see your face. Knock on our door like you knocked on our door for them votes. Have a pig roast and invite us to the pig roast like you do when you're trying to get donations. Invite us to the Zucker Club or whatever it is you have your drinks, and talk to us, because you're not working for us.
Yep.
And we shouldn't have to cry or be begging for our appointed attorney to get justice for the people and justice for the community to be working for us. It is her job.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we need to get the attorney general, like, at this point, because she ain't working for us, bro.
Right.
Like, why ain't she in the neighborhood knocking on doors? And then there's people who will walk and knock with her. She don't even got to be afraid to come in the neighborhood. We want her help. And the crazy is, at this point in time, they say, well, your community doesn't cooperate with the police. We're trying to cooperate with the law, and now the law don't want to cooperate with us?
Right. And you notice we have not made this a black-white thing, because even though we know the demographic here, based on the parties involved, that is not what this whole thing is about. It's about justice and doing the right thing. And I'm sorry, if there's a DA that's uncomfortable coming in the hood to get answers, then don't be the DA, because you serve the people, not just one group of people. You serve the people. Don't be the DA if you're uncomfortable coming into the neighborhood. Plain and simple. I agree 100%. She need to be knocking on doors and talking to people that can help her prosecute. That is your job, is to prosecute. And just because it's your teammate, that's irrelevant. do your job. That's the way we're coming from. And I don't understand why we can't be invited to the pig roast, D. I like pig. I love pork. You know what I'm saying? Shoot.
But no, that's real though, bro, because that's how it goes, man. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that I was able to obtain the information that I did to be able to give it away to people to help them understand like how this thing truly works.
Yeah.
And when people are in cahoots with one another, and like you said, they don't want to give up their teammates, like it shows the lack of accountability within our leadership at this point in time. Because even when you think about like some of the people in the community, like right is right, wrong is wrong. And now that the video is released, we need every single person who saw that video to say, this is what I saw. You know what I mean? Because let's say, for instance, if it was somebody famous. Like I remember when Young Dolph, the situation, everybody was trying to figure out what happened to Young Dolph. Your favorite celebrity passed away. Everybody trying to figure out who did. We can name multiple celebrities and all the conspiracy theories and how much noise we made. We're not asking nobody to solve the case. We asking people to make noise so the name don't die.
Absolutely.
We asking people to tell their friends about it so the message gets passed along. So ain't nobody trying to force nobody to be down with the movement.
Right.
It's more or less make enough noise because you see, this is what we've been talking about since day one. You know, and as the days go on, the following gets smaller, less people come to the protest, less people post on social media. But for those people who have been down since day one, and for the people who didn't understand, now that you see the video has been released, this is why we've been going as hard as we've been going. This is why I've been running my mouth the way I've been running my mouth in post report. This is why Malcolm been out there. This is why Terry been out there. This is why Sarah started what she started going on. This is why Hard Rock is with us. This is why Jerry is with us. This is why Michael is out. This is why you doing what you're doing, because this is why Cindy is down, because we been knew it was wrong.
From the beginning.
We was willing to do whatever we had to do to make sure that everybody knew that we wasn't playing about it. So this
and we're still willing to do everything that we need to do so that people know we're not playing.
And the thing is I'm glad that the news even believed us enough to release this video, because although we understand that they have to do what they have to do their job and release stories, they at least had enough grace to be like, well, you know what? We're going to drop this video to maybe that apply some pressure as well. You know,
and from a media standpoint,
and that's appreciated.
From a media standpoint, and I can speak to that, the media is restricted about certain things that they can do in a specific case like this, right? And they're usually really bound always to the facts, but they go by the statements that are released. Since there have only been 2 statements released, they don't have that much to go by. But they do have our video. And that brought a different dynamic so that everybody can just make a choice themselves and let us know what you see on the video. Because what I don't see on that video is any parole agent being dragged. That is what I do not see. That is what we have not seen from the beginning. And that is what the Erie County area has been exposed to from the media on the news as of yesterday. So, checkmate. The ball's in your court.
That's what I think too. Even if that's what it comes to, like, if it takes for us to do a survey just to get people to continuously talking about it, do you see a parole agent getting dragged? Yes or no?
Right.
We ain't asking nobody to play lawyer. We ain't asking nobody to play attorney. There are people who have jobs that do that, and there are people who are being contacted and reached out to do the things that they need to do. So, I mean, we're not trying to play attorneys. We're not trying to play judge, executioner, you know what I mean? None of that. Yeah. All we're trying to do is raise the name and keep it going. So what we need people to do is to watch the video.
Yep.
Just like, and when you see the video, make a status about it. Oh yeah, I seen the video. I didn't see no parole agent get drugged. And if you feel like you did, post a status and say, yeah, I saw a video and I saw the parole agent get drugged. Just say his name. You know what I mean? Because anybody who's saying that they seen him drugged, it's clear as day you lying.
Yeah,
but you will be saying his name. So anybody who disagrees with the information that was released yesterday, disagree loudly. Disagree publicly. And when you disagree, share it. When people say, well, what do you mean? I didn't see the video. Share the video. You know what I mean? When people are like, oh, yeah, did you hear about that? No, I didn't hear about it. share the, don't tag him in the video, share it and be like, I just shared it again. Like, and let's keep it going, because that's what it's going to take. In my opinion, that's what it's going to take. And that's why I've been going as hard as I've been going. And that's why I've been working with the team. And that's why the team has been going as hard as they've been going. And we've been doing everything that we can in our power to make sure that we keeping our heads level, that we not bumping heads with one another, and that we making sure to continue to maintain the mission. And the mission is, and the mission was, we want justice for Marchello. He was an innocent man who was killed. Like, and we want justice for him. And I don't care who feels what about what we've been doing. I don't care who feels a way about it. And we're going to do everything that we possibly can until we get justice. And we don't even know what that looks like. This is new. So we're going to keep going hard, and we're going to keep pushing forward. And we may make some mistakes along the way.
Yep.
But the team is strong enough to where we can hold ourselves accountable and let each other know when we make mistakes and get back in order and go in the right direction, because it's not about us. It's not about me. It's not about any individual person. It's about justice for Marchello. It's about the Erie community. And it's about them doing the right thing.
And this is the only way that we're going to continue to be able to fight to get justice for Cello. And this is one of the ways, me being down here in Tampa, I can contribute. And I ask everyone that is watching this podcast tonight to please share this video and hashtag justice for Cello on everything. Review the video again for what we're talking about, and make your own opinion, and then share it. And then see what your friends say. See what your friends say. We need to get a lot of people looking at this, and then you'll see the consensus. Number one, the thing that I don't see, I do not see a parole agent being dragged on this video. And that right there is the most important piece of this investigation. All right. Any parting words, Deonte, before I let you roll?
No, I wanted to say something to this. He keep posting this. I keep asking this question. At the end of people doing the investigation saw that video that just released 27 days ago. Mm-hmm. They saw all the ring. He said, "Oh, we can't answer that question." But yeah, no, I just want, listen. This is what I will say, right?
Yeah.
Because I understand we've got to the point to where people are frustrated. We're past the point of frustration, angry, and upset. I want everybody to take some time for themselves to realize and understand that we want justice for Marchello, and we don't want any dissension within the community. We don't want anybody who has Cello's best interest at heart going at one another. We don't want the family beef, and the family needs to be grieving. We don't need nobody poking at the family or trying to play investigator to figure out who did what or who had what involved with what. Right. We want justice for Marchello. We want the family to be able to grieve how they're grieving. We don't want our community picking apart one another. We don't want our community prying apart one another. Like, this is the point in time where we all need to be coming together. And I know it's very cliche, and I know, like, at one point, but this is really what we need, in my opinion, because the second that anybody sees any weak links within the community, or they see any dissension within the community, that's when they'll attack, that's when they'll strike. And there was a couple different distracting messages that came out. Yeah, and I'm glad that everybody was be able to get back on track and pivot back to what we was doing. So we as a community, we gonna continue to come together. We'll continue to build. And when you see somebody doing something that doesn't go with the mission, call them out. And when you get called out for not doing something that's part of a mission, just be open to that, man. Like, I love every single one of y'all, and I love the fact that people are still continuing to fight. You know what I mean, for the family, for justice of Marchello. I know it's a lot of people hurt. A lot of people grieving, a lot of people sad, but it's also a lot of people fighting. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be quick, but we ain't going to, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to continue to work hard. I've made my promises to the people who I feel I need to make those promises to. And then there have been people who were close to Marchello, who they don't have the voice that I have, or they feel like I would be the person to do it. And people have legitimately been like, yo, I need you to keep doing what you're doing. So for anybody who's not a part of the mission is justice for Cello, you keep them other opinions away from us. Like, we got permission to march and step how we marching and stepping, and you do too.
Yeah. Hey, great parting words. I wanted to end with just saying thank you for all the support that we're getting around the area. And I'm talking about Black, white, Hispanic. It's been a demographic a beautiful, beautiful melting pot of support that we have been seeing out there. And we need that to continue because we're not going to settle for injustice. And it is important for us to continue to go hard and to pass on the message and to continue to keep this story alive, which keeps Cello alive. You know, we are not going to let him go out like that, and we want to try to prevent this from happening to somebody in the future. They think that we're going to be silent, and they think we're going to go away, but they don't know us. The Justice for Cello Coalition is here to stay. We're not going anywhere until justice is served. So thank you guys for watching us tonight. We'll probably be back on next week. I know, D, you join me again if we got to come back on.
Listen, man, I'm ready whenever you ready, man. We ain't stopping until it's over.
We're going to be fighting, man. Thank you for joining me tonight. For Deonte Cooley, I'm Craig Woodard. Good night. We'll see you next time.